it really it helped enhance my relationship with my clients because they valued me more. They valued my time. They viewed me as a professional. It quickly morphed into this strong feeling that this was an important aspect of my business, was to figure out how can I continue to develop systems in my business that allowed my clients to have access and communication to me so that they felt nurtured, that they felt seen and cared for, even if I'm juggling 5, 6, 10 projects at a time, and do it without being on all the time.
Welcome to the Designer's Oasis podcast. I'm your host, Kate Bendewald. If you're tired of one-size-fits-all advice to running your interior design business, you're in the right place. Join me each week as we dive into topics to help you run a thriving interior design business without the hustle. We'll talk about the business of design, but also mindset and mental health, because I know when you thrive, so will your life and business. It wasn't that long ago that I stepped away from my corporate interior design job to build my own design business so that I could realize my own creative dreams, have more time with the people I love, and serve my clients at the highest level while making more money than I ever could have working for someone else. It wasn't always easy, and I made my share of mistakes along the way. Fast forward to today, and I've learned a thing or two. Since then, I've built multiple six-figure interior design businesses on authentic word-of-mouth referrals with many repeat clients. And I want to share it all with you, the ambitious, inspired, and I get it, occasionally overwhelmed interior designer who shares this dream of transforming lives through the art of interior design. You can do this. Thank you for letting me spend part of this day with you. Let's get to it.
Well, hello there, my friends. Welcome back. So good to be hanging out with you today. We are going to be talking today about how to serve your clients without being available 24/7, without being on all the time. Listen, I get really passionate about this. They say, oh, there's no real such thing as work-life balance when you're an entrepreneur. And I would say that's true to a degree because sometimes we can't always turn off what's in our head. But when it comes to your client communications and how they have access to you and how available you are, you have a lot of control over what kind of expectations you set up so that you can feel like you're in balance, so that you're not always on all the time and that you don't feel the need to respond. But we need to talk about this because I know for a lot of you, this doesn't come naturally. I know for me, especially in the real early days that as a new designer, I was very eager to please my clients to the nth degree for whatever it took, and it felt like I was doing the right thing. And it took me a little while to realize that I could take up some space here and that I could hold really healthy boundaries with my clients, and that would only prove to enhance my relationship with my clients, not the opposite. It didn't diminish my relationship with my clients in any way. It helped enhance my relationship with my clients because they valued me more. They valued my time. They viewed me as a professional. And so it quickly morphed into this strong feeling that this was an important aspect of my business, was to figure out how can I continue to develop systems in my business that allowed my clients to have access and communication to me so that they felt nurtured, that they felt seen and cared for, even if I'm juggling 5, 6, 10 projects at a time. And do it without being on all the time. All right, so we're going to get into it. I'm really excited. Just a quick reminder that on November 16th, we have the annual master planning workshop. you'll hear more about it a little bit later in today's episode, but I really want to see you there. It's a powerful workshop. This is the 4th year in a row that we've done it. You can learn more by going to designersoasis.com/plan to learn more. This is a really great way to help you kick off the new year 2024 with clarity and with intention. So I look forward to seeing you there. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Imagine this. Perhaps something like this has happened to you. Perhaps you're standing in line at the grocery store and you're listening to your tunes and you're vegging out after a long day of work. And all of a sudden, you get a text message. And I'm going to, for those of you watching on YouTube, use air quotes here. Urgent text message from a client. The word urgent is in air quotes. Something's wrong. They have a question, something arrived, who knows? It could be a million things, but there's a sense and a tone of urgency to it. All of a sudden, you've got this beautiful, like, daydreaming moment where you can finally just kind of chill out for the day. And all of a sudden, you were ripped from your daydreams and zapped right into this feeling of panic or anxiety or urgency. And yet you're at the grocery stand. There's nothing you can do about it right now. So I know this has happened to me. Or perhaps maybe you're working on a project and you are in a creative flow. You're in the zone. You have got your music going, your candle lit, and things are coming together, things are gelling, and you're feeling good. And you go to your email to look for something, to look for a piece of information, to reference something. And all of a sudden in your inbox, you see, again, in air quotes, an urgent email from a client who has a question or a problem or a situation and they need your help. Doesn't matter what it is, but all of a sudden you are yanked by your neck out of this flow, out of this creative zone that you're in, and all of a sudden switching into this, analytical left side of your brain, trying to problem solve, strategize, whatever the case may be. And you've lost that flow. You've been robbed of that moment of putting something really magical and beautiful together. Now, is this your client's fault? No. But today we're going to talk about strategies for not only allowing clients to know how to get a hold of you, when to get a hold of you, when to expect responses, and that sort of thing, as well as ways for you to talk about these things with your client and set those expectations early on in a project so that when those emails come in, because we know they're not going to be, or text messages, we know that they can't be eliminated 100%, but at least you can manage and control a little bit of it. For me personally, I don't do text messaging with my clients until very, 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 very later into the relationship. More on that in a minute. But my point is, we're going to talk about some strategies so that when those text messages or emails come in, that you can say to yourself, wait a second, I'm not even going to open this right now because I'm in a flow and I want to honor this creative moment that's happening. And this other client who is supposed to be having my undivided attention and my dedicated attention right now, and know that it doesn't matter what's on the inside of this email. It doesn't matter whatever it is, because in interior design, there's almost never an emergency. Now, very occasionally there might be a special delivery that you're having to time, those kind of things. And if that's the case, then you should already be prepared for that in that moment, right? Those kind of things typically don't happen on a unplanned basis. So I want to give you some tools to kind of say to yourself, wait a second, I don't have to respond to this right now. This can wait. This can wait. Right. Molly Crouch, who has been a guest on this podcast. She is an expert, by the way. She said to me one time, and I'll link back to her episode, you're the only one who can change your relationship with time. You're the only one that can change your relationship with time. And I thought that was really beautiful, because I was expressing to her that I have a constant feeling that there's never enough time, that things are never done. A lot of times, so many things feel urgent at once. And what she helped me to understand was that's not the things, the people, the events, whatever, that's causing me to feel that way. It's my perception of how they interact with my life and how I'm feeling. So I love that. I wanted to bring that back up. You're the only one that can change your relationship with time. Because I think if we kind of tuck that little thought away into the back of our minds as we're talking today, it can really help things feel really doable. Okay, so I want to talk with you first about setting expectations with your clients. Setting expectations with your clients is the number one most important way to hold boundaries, healthy boundaries around communications. And there's a couple of ways that you can do this. One of my favorite and simplest ways to do this is there is a single page inside our client welcome package. I will link to our template in the show notes, but there's a single page dedicated to communications and how we communicate. And it includes super helpful information that a client can really hang on to and save for the future. But, it can include things like, standard holidays where you're closed, your working hours, how to connect, how to contact you, these kinds of things. And so you can, by putting it in a substantial document like this, such as your client welcome package, it just says already before, and I want to point out that the client welcome package is delivered to a client in my workflow, the workflow that I suggest at the end of a consultation. If you kick off a full service project with a consultation, typically at the end of that consultation, if I feel like this is a client that I want to continue to work with and we're going to do a proposal and move things along, that's when they would get that welcome package. Your workflow may look a little different, but whatever the case may be, they're getting that information prior to even signing a contract with me. Okay, so they see this information up front, and they just will have to know, like, if you want to work with me, this is how it's going to be. Got it? And so that gives you a really easy way to communicate that. It is also reiterated in the contract too. So they would see it again there. So it's important to set those expectations about how to connect with you. I want you to think about, how do you want your clients to communicate with you? Is texting okay? I know for a lot of designers, they are perfectly fine texting with their clients. And if that's you, then great. Let that be something that, a benefit of being perhaps a full service client that only a full service client would get, if that works for you. But if you're like me and you're like, man, I don't really want to text with my clients, I want to keep everything streamlined in email, then it's really important that you state that in your communications guidelines. If you do allow texting, I would suggest that you put some parameters around it, that, texting is fine between the hours of, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. Please do not text me after 5 or on the weekends. That could be a parameter that you set if you do allow texting. Another scenario, another option that I've done in the past and worked really beautifully is I had a dedicated Google phone number that clients had access to. And with a Google phone number, at least at the time that I was using it, was free. But you can set that up to get phone calls and text messages from that. And so I know I'm an Apple iPhone user, and with that, you can set up different focus modes. And one of the things that you could choose to do would be you can tell it which apps are allowed to alert you and during what times. And so I have a working focus mode set, and in that focus mode setting, I can set it up so that, yes, my Google phone can call me or text me during working hours, and then it would automatically turn off. So you can totally set up a schedule if you really want to nerd out on all of this. I've got a couple of focus modes. I've got one for when I'm podcasting, which says do not disturb and has no ringing or dinging is happening. I've got one when I'm, typical days at work, so that my kids' school can contact me, and my husband, but really nobody else, and my assistants can contact me. So you can set this up a number of ways. And set the schedule. And that can really help to eliminate those distractions. I'm telling you what, eliminating distractions is one of the most impactful ways that you can you know, thrive in your business, because it can help you get more done in less time. It can help you have more quality work because you're not switching gears and switching tasks so often, because that's it robs you of so much time. So determine texting, phone calls. What do your clients have available to you? I tell my clients, you can pick up the phone and call me anytime during business hours. I will always pick up if I'm available. If not, I'll get back to you shortly. So they know they can always pick up the phone and call me. And that's usually for like quick stuff. And to be frank, very rarely happens, but on occasion it does. And I welcome it, because it's usually a quick call and we can, get the ball rolling on something else, whatever the case may be. But if a client needs to maybe hop on the phone with you for something that's going to take more than 5 minutes, I recommend you always give your clients access to a call scheduler with you. Most of your typical booking softwares have a feature like this, but a way for them to, at any point, they can schedule a, say, 15, 20, 30-minute call with you, and give them access to that all the time. That way they feel like, if we really do need to sit down and hash something out, they know that they have access to you that way. Another thing I want you to think about, if you have any kind of an assistant that's working for you, are there certain kinds of emails that should go to them first? Of course, this depends on the capacity of your employee or your staff members, but even something as simple, as a virtual assistant, if your client needs to book a call with you, or they have a simple question, they could, in theory, filter all of those questions through your assistant, so that you're not getting as inundated with phone calls and text messages and that sort of thing. But if you have a junior designer, a senior designer, a project manager, those could be the people who are fielding any sort of questions related to the project itself, that are more nuanced and specific to the project. So this goes back to leveraging your team to help you run your business, be more efficient. We've got some episodes on that, so we'll be sure to link to that if that's something that you're thinking about. But you can train these people to know how to respond. Of course, you want to make sure that they are also creating those healthy boundaries, and that they're not on 24/7. So they should also know that if they see an email come in late at night, that they're in no way obligated to respond to that until the following day. All right. So next, I want you to think about how long you are comfortable allowing an email or a phone call to go unresponded to. For me, it's 24 hours, except on the weekends. So what that means is my clients know that if they email me or they leave me a voicemail, to give me 24 hours to get back to them. And I abide by that. I get back to them. Here's the deal. There have been many times where I knew, like, maybe I was traveling, or maybe I was hunkered down in a deadline, whatever the case may be. I knew that I wouldn't be able to get them a full answer within 24 hours. One strategy that you can do is you can send a quick reply and just say, hey, Ms. Smith, I just wanted to let you know that I saw your email, and it's going to need a little bit of my time to respond thoughtfully to all of your questions. So if you could just give me till Friday to get back to you on that, while I wrap up a deadline that I'm in the middle of, so whatever the case may be, or finish my travels, or, those kinds of things. But let them know that you've seen it. Another scenario that I like to use is an autoresponder. It's more of a generic reply. So an autoresponder can be something that you have on your email that includes specific information for your clients. You have to be mindful about it, because, of course, anybody that emails you is going to get this autoresponder. So that can sometimes work and sometimes not, just depending on what all you have going on. But an autoresponder could include information like, hey, just wanted to let you know we got your email. It's safely tucked away in our inbox. We'll get back to you within 24 hours. In the meantime, here are some answers to some commonly asked questions. And maybe you put in there a link to the client portal. Maybe they're struggling to log in and looking for something like that. Maybe you put in the booking link to your scheduler. If they need to book a call with you, they have access to that. So think about what kind of information would be important for a client to receive, but would also be okay if other people received it. You might also consider putting in there things like, if you have an urgent question, please reach out to so-and-so, and you put the email address of your project manager. So it just kind of depends on what you have set up in your business. But those are the kinds of things that in theory could help a client feel supported, maybe get some quick answers to something that they need while you are able to wrap up whatever you're doing and come back to that response a little bit later.
Are you ready to make 2024 your best year yet? Are you ready to stop flying by the seat of your pants and move into the new year with intention and clarity? If you're ready to escape the feast or famine cycle, don't miss my upcoming masterclass, the annual Planning for Interior Designers Workshop. This is the 4th year I'm hosting it, and it's going to be better than ever. Join me live on November 16th for this interactive, power-packed workshop. The truth is, most successful interior designers are the ones who can cast their vision and then make a plan to get there. But that's not always easy to do on your own, and I want to help. I have dedicated my career to helping interior designers build thriving businesses, and I'm inviting you to join and learn how you too can enjoy a business that supports you personally, creatively, and financially. We'll talk about the power of intention, how to set your intentions for the year and then put them at the center of decision-making in your business. We'll take a look back at your past year and help identify opportunities for growth and improvements to refresh your business. I'll help you design your ideal year so you can build a business that supports, not competes with, your personal time, vacations, rest, and play. I'll give you the tools to reverse engineer your revenue plan so you have clear, strategic goals broken down into bite-sized and manageable pieces. And finally, we'll dial in on a marketing strategy that factors in your personality, budget, and time into the equation. I want you to get in the right mindset so you can achieve the results you want in your interior design business. Get ready to design your year with intention. Head over to designersoasis.com/plan and register today. Again, that's designersoasis.com/plan and register today. Spots are limited, so don't wait. I can't wait to see you there.
One other thing that was really successful for us with clients, a lot of times your project management system. So this might be House Pro, MyDoma, Studio Designer, design files, those kinds of software. A lot of times there's a place for, once you give your clients access, for your clients to comment and ask questions. And so right after our big design presentation, we give our clients access to that portal. That's really the first time that we give them access to our internal portal. And we have a little quick Loom video that shows them, hey, we know that we shared a lot of information with you today, and you're going to need maybe a little bit of time to think about some of the specific things that we ask you. And so what this allows our clients to do, we try to get as much buy-in as possible in the design presentation and sign off on whatever we can. But always, inevitably, there's going to be a handful of things that it's like, I might have some more questions, or I need to think about that one a little bit more. And so this portal allows clients to comment and question on specifications on a specific item. And we love that because it keeps all of that information organized into one central location. So we're not having to dig through emails, certainly dig through text messaging. And that's a huge part of why I don't text, is because not only do I not want to feel like I have to respond to something right away, but I don't want information to start going to text messages that later I'm going to have to think to myself, oh Lord, where was this information? Was it in an email? Was it in text? Or was it in the project management system? So we just try to avoid the text messaging altogether, with the exception of sometimes logistics. Okay, so think about relying on your project management system, whatever you might use, to give your clients a specific place to provide feedback, questions, and comments on on specifications. And this is going to heavily eliminate a bunch of back and forth emails immediately following a design presentation. But make sure that you give your clients instructions on that and show them how to do it. Make it as simple as possible. All right, so moving on, I want to think about after the design presentation. Well, let me back up. This doesn't just happen after the design presentation, but they become more dense at this point, is end of week emails. So we send end of week emails to every one of our clients with just quick updates on what's going on, what's coming up next, what's arrived, what meetings we have coming up, who we talk to that week. You get the picture. So end of week emails happen during the design presentation, but there's not a whole lot of content to them, but we might on occasion have a question. These end of week emails are super important because the clients come to rely on them. And what that does is if you start to train your clients to expect them at the end of the week, then you are eliminating those, weekend emails from clients with questions, because what happens? Our clients during the week are busy working. They're focused on whatever it is they do during the day. And it's on the weekends when they get to think about, how their project is progressing. And so that's when these questions sneak up, and you want to get ahead of that. Okay, you want to preempt that. So what we do is we send an end of week email that gives those big updates, and of course says, if you have any other questions, please let us know. And then they have the weekend to respond, which allows us to hit the ground running on Monday. After the design presentation, those end of week emails do start to get a little bit more dense. We try to keep our clients apprised of, what's arrived. We make sure they have access to the client portal so they can see those updates. We communicate damages when necessary. A lot of times, small damages can be easily fixed, and it's just not a big deal. We don't want to try to burden them with, we don't want them to think the wheels are falling off. We try to make it look as effortless as possible. So make sure that you are incorporating an end of week email into your client process. It'll help your clients to feel nurtured and supported. Okay, and they're going to come to expect those end of week emails, and know to look for them. So that's a real game changer if you're not already doing that. One last quick tip on that before we move on to our last point. Create a template for yourself for this. What is the kind of information that you want to have in there? This is a very easy thing for you to train an assistant to do for you. We keep a running list of, these are things that we need to include in the end of week email. If something just pops into my mind, I have a quick note I can drop that into, and then at the end of the week, they send that out. If you are off on Fridays, you can always schedule that email to go out in advance, and you can do that usually with Google and lots of other email service providers. A lot of times project management systems have the ability to do that as well. So with Google, we use Boomerang, and so Boomerang is how we schedule emails to be sent at a later time. Okay. The last thing that I want to talk about is communicating early with your clients when you are planning to have any time off for any length of time. I typically say more than 2 days where I know I'm not going to be available. I'm not going to be checking email. Maybe this is because I'm on a photo shoot or an install, or I'm traveling, or I'm just taking the day off, whatever. If I'm going to be gone for more than 2 days without access to email and communications, then you want to let your clients know in advance. And how long in advance is relative to how long you'll be away. So if you're going to be going on maternity leave, and let's just say you're taking 3 or more months off, you obviously want to be communicating that much, 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 much sooner, and have a communication plan and game plan for while you're away, somebody to help manage and oversee your inbox during your absence. But if you're going to be gone just for a week, you want to give your clients at least a month's notice and just let them know how long you're going to be away, what are the dates, is there anybody that's going to be monitoring your email? And if so, letting them know who they can contact in your absence should you have someone. but you really want to be able to take whatever time off you need without hesitation, so that you can really rejuvenate. This is a really important aspect of being an entrepreneur, is having time to shut down. That's when creativity can really start to you can feel creative, you can feel inspired, you can show up fully present for your clients and for the work that you're doing. And so I want to encourage you to really embrace time off in a really healthy way, and creating healthy boundaries around it without the guilt, without feeling like you need to check in. And part of this just comes with, you need to give yourself permission to do this. Don't be afraid to take up space. Don't be afraid to set those boundaries. And if a client tests those boundaries, if they text you even though you've said you don't text, if they're emailing you even when you're off, I want you to really hold that line in a firm but kind way. What I typically say is, the first text message, first of all, don't respond right away. Give it 48 hours. And then after that, I would say, hey, just a quick reminder that we communicate through email. Text messaging is reserved for friends and family. So go ahead and send me your questions to this email. And that would be an appropriate response for the first one. If they were to do it again, simply don't respond. If you respond, then you're feeding into that practice. And so that's not going to work. So simply don't respond. And hopefully after that, you're not dealing with these issues anymore. If you are, go back and listen to my podcast episode on red flags, and we talk a little bit more about that there. But I really hope that you can feel not only empowered to take up this space in your business and to hold these healthy boundaries, but know that it's just going to improve your relationship with your clients, because they're going to respect you as the professional that you are. But it's important that you take the really critical steps of putting into play these communications with your clients. So if you don't have a welcome package, go get mine, and I will show you exactly how and what to communicate to your clients. This information is also in our contract, which you can also find on our website. But make sure that you're communicating early with them about the best way to get a hold of you. Go set up that scheduling link so that your clients have access to a 20-minute scheduler, 30-minute scheduler, whatever you decide, or maybe you have a 15 and a 30-minute. Put this information in your signature line. Create your autoresponder. Create the Loom video that shows your client how to use their project management, their client portal to provide questions and comments there. Make a list of what are the things that you can do to start to move away from auto responding yourself to clients' emails, questions, and text messages. Go create that Google phone number, whatever the case may be. But I hope that some of these strategies have helped you not only feel inspired to take control of your schedule and take control of the communications with your clients, but that you've got some concrete ideas, some specific tools that you can use to help you get started with implementing these strategies right now. All right, my friend, that's all I have for today. Thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Hey friend, thank you so much for letting me spend a part of this day with you. I'm so passionate about helping designers like you, and I believe in a rising tide, that when one of us does well, we all do better. So if you share this attitude of abundance with me, I want you to do just one little thing. Please share this episode with someone you think might love it. And if you're feeling extra generous today, go ahead and take just 30 seconds to open your podcast app and leave us a 5-star rating and review. It's free for you to do, and it helps me to be able to keep making more episodes and resources for you. However you choose to help, please know I appreciate you so very much. Thank you, my friend. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll see you soon.